Hi guys, it's Victoria with Nutrition by Victoria, and I'm on my spin bike right now. And so today's question is about muscle and how to eat a diet that supports getting stronger. So the most significant aspect of building muscle or getting stronger is actually comes down to preserving your muscle so that you can build it up versus break it down. So diet is the most important factor here, because if you're eating a diet that promotes gluconeogenesis, or the creation of glucose from protein or fat, you're going to be wasting your muscle tissue with that kind of diet. So a lot of diets that recommend eating 100 grams of protein or more a day in order to build and preserve muscle are promoting that because they're not promoting eating enough carbohydrates. So the downside of eating a diet like that is, one, you're still going to be breaking down your muscle, so you're making your body work harder in order to preserve that lean muscle tissue that naturally gets preserved when you eat sufficient carbohydrate calories every day, so that you're not triggering gluconeogenesis, because gluconeogenesis predominantly utilizes protein for glucose synthesis or glucose creation. So okay. So when it comes to, those high protein diets, what they're doing is they're trying to replace the protein that is being lost through gluconeogenesis. So why not instead just eat a muscle preserving diet that also promotes building muscle? So I am someone who has always had a hard time building muscle until I started eating sufficient daily carbohydrates. So I don't have to worry about how much protein I eat. I keep my fat really low, and I end up by default getting enough protein in my diet just by eating enough carbohydrates, predominantly from fruits and starches and vegetables as well. And that diet preserves the amount of muscle that is currently on my body without causing any muscle wastage or sparing, because I'm not triggering gluconeogenesis. So as long as you are eating a sufficient amount of carbohydrates every day and you're doing the training to build your muscles, you don't have to worry about how much protein you're eating, because you'll naturally eat enough just by fulfilling your desire and requirement for sufficient daily carbohydrates. So that's going to look like about 2,500 calories a day for women, at least 3,000 calories a day for men, with activity. Eat more if your body craves more. So I can average anywhere from 3,000 calories a day up to 5,000 calories a day, especially with breastfeeding and being active. So those are all things to keep in mind, but protein is a non-issue as long as you are eating sufficient daily calories from carbohydrates. Now, if you're trying to gain weight, bumping up the protein and fat in your diet is fine to do, but again, in order to prevent muscle loss due to insufficient carbohydrate calorie intake, you just want to make sure that the carbs are still the majority of your diet. So I would say an anabolic diet looks like 70% carbs, 60% carbohydrates, 20% fat, 20% protein. You can mess with things there, but I would never dip below 60% of your diet coming from carbohydrates. And if you're going for that lean body look without excess fat, you'll want to eat like a 95-5 diet, 90% carbohydrates, 5% protein, 5% fat. The other thing I want to say about eating a high carb, low fat, adequate amount of protein diet is that it allows your muscles to hold glycogen. So glycogen is our storage form of glucose, and when we aren't eating and actively taking in energy, we are storing it in our muscles in order to use that stored energy for physical activity. So if you want to have the best result strength-wise with your muscle tissue, you want to make sure that you are feeding those muscles and rebuilding those glycogen stores on a regular basis so that your muscles can utilize that glycogen and utilize that glucose from the glycogen stores in order to create energy to do work with those muscles. So hope that makes sense. High protein diets also put a lot of strain on our kidney function, so ultimately you can end up with renal problems, and also if you're predominantly eating your protein from animal products, it also increases your natural levels of IGF-1, where they're actually promoting cancer cell growth in the body as well as heart disease. So you want to stay away from high protein diets, especially high animal protein diets. But that's it for today's video. Leave any comments or questions down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.